Okay, man. Fucking, there he is, Mr. California. I know you got something for me. What you got for me?
I got mad Pondo on the fucking Deathmatch legend on the line with me right now, brother. All right, go ahead, Pondo. You're on Awesome Bomb Fight Radio.
Baka got shit.
Going down your way.
There he is. The big Juggalo Championship Wrestling fucking superstar. The big, what are you? You're a big Japanese.
One-time tag team champion.
I know. I watched you win the belt. I saw you win it, but I didn't see you lose it. You know what I mean? And that is the belt that we recognize on our show as the World Championship. At one time, it was the CZW belt. Now it's definitely the Juggalo Championship Wrestling belt. Because listen, if it's going between Madman Pondo and Corporal Robinson, what other belt is there?
True that, huh? And taste, huh?
Hey, listen, man. What are you doing? Are you going to Japan still, or are you not going to Japan anymore?
I haven't been to Japan since April 2008 because, first of all, when the economy hit here, it hit everywhere. So I was holding back on that. And then Chikara guys started flying themselves over and getting low pays and stuff like that, and then that pretty well ruined it, for everybody. But now they're starting to bring guys back over. They brought Necro, and I think they had Drake scheduled and something like that. But you never know. Maybe I'll be back pretty soon.
Man, because that seemed to be the way that deathmatch guys would make a living would be go to Japan. And you're saying that Chikara guys would just they would just fly themselves over and like basically work for nothing? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, tell you the truth, it's probably a pretty smart move. I'm not putting it down by any means. Like, a lot of people want to wrestle in Japan, so they do what they got to do to get over there. But it's a big myth that deathmatch workers are really popular over in Japan because there's only like one company that does them all the time and two companies that does them, after a little bit of time. So 3 companies total do deathmatches. So it's getting difficult all over, for the deathmatch worker. I don't know if you realize or not, but deathmatches aren't as popular as they used to be.
That's true, man. That's true about that.
No, I've noticed, Mr. California. They're not. I mean, you're not making a fortune doing deathmatch wrestlers, right?
No,
you guys,
really.
you guys are kind of. It's kind of going out with the. What do you think it's the Ring of Honor style? That's kind of putting the deathmatch thing sort of out of style.
Not so much that somebody's putting the deathmatch style out. It's just not as popular as what it used to be. I remember I was booked every weekend and 2 or 3 nights a week, and now, I'm lucky to be on the weekends and stuff like that. So, as of late, I don't know if this sentence should ever be made public, but Madman Pondo's been working for OVW, so that doesn't tell you the big switch in styles, and you just got to start adapting or just quit wrestling. So more or less moved on to just wrestling. Go ahead.
So you're doing more of a scientific style than the deathmatch style, is what I'm hearing. Well, that's probably better on your body, I would imagine.
Well, I always felt a little bit of Pondo in there somewhere, but yeah, a little more, technical, a little more comedy, a little more microphone work. I don't know if you ever saw on YouTube Madman Pondo versus the Whore. That's some of my best work I've ever done.
Well, I don't know about that match, but I have seen you do mic work and without doing a death match, and you definitely have the ability to piss the fans off. So, if nothing else, you have the Madman Pondo gimmick over enough to piss people off. So that's half the battle right there. Doing a death match is almost, who gives a shit? As long as you piss the fans off. I mean, listen, Larry Zbyszko never did a death match. Madman Pondo doesn't need to do a death match. Madman Pondo should be able, because in one crowd, in the JCW crowd, Madman Pondo is the most over guy that there is. No one's near as loved. Madman Pondo is the shit. There's no one. You're the Hulk Hogan of the JCW scene. But if you go into a non-JCW type of a scene, you're able. From what I've seen, your mic work, you're able to shit on the crowd, make them mad, piss them off enough that they hate your guts enough to follow you out of the parking lot, which is what I've seen. I didn't see you do a death match, but I saw you got followed out to the fucking parking lot by fans.
Yeah. Well, what actually happened with my whole wrestling career is I really like to have a good time. Somebody just noticed it along the way that it was, what I'm supposed to do. But like I was saying, if you check out on YouTube, Madman Pondo versus the Whore, there was some chick. Everybody asked me if I knew who she was. No, I didn't. She kept her mouth shut, but just kept hitting the remarks one after the other. And anyway, that's a short preview of what Madman Pondo does on the mic.
Do you think that there has been a lot of problems with booking indie wrestlers based on MMA, like the popularity that MMA is getting on the indie level, like indie guy, a lot of guys that normally maybe went to go see indie wrestling or deathmatch wrestling are going to see MMA now on a local level. Has that had a problem on you guys?
Yeah, I mean, things evolve, things move on, and right now MMA and UFC, all that stuff, full contact stuff is, getting more popular than wrestling right now. But if you realize over the years, wrestling has always survived and it's always come up and it's gone down. Where UFC and MMA, look at boxing. Boxing's been around, so it's going to survive. I think MMA and UFC is going to survive, but I definitely think somewhere wrestling's going to survive, and it's all going to pay itself out. And maybe someday it'll come back up, but if not, it's going to stay the same as it always is right now, which, of course, Vince and TNA, that's your big two. They're always going to draw your bigger crowds. But independent wrestling is now, 200 is now a good crowd for an independent show, But the thing about it is, me, Mr. California, and all the other independent wrestlers, we can't stop doing it. So there's always going to be professional wrestling. Once it gets in your blood, it's not going anywhere. It stays right there.
Now, is there a potential? I'm sure. I'm not sure. I don't know. I have no idea. Can people still continue to make a living doing it, or is it going to end up being for independent guys? Is it end up just going to be a hobby where they more or less pay to do it?
For the longest time, I can make a living at just independent wrestling, and I can't speak for all the other independent wrestlers, but for right now, I'm living with a very understanding family, and when I do good, they get some, and when I don't, they don't really ask for that much. But right now I am surviving on just professional wrestling, but it's not like it's the easiest thing. It's still just as rough as anything. It's not like WWE pay or anything, but
right.
A lot of independent wrestlers. No, the economy is the worst it's been ever, and, one of the things that got hit hard is the professional wrestler.
Right, absolutely, I believe that, and so, pretty much, because even we hear from, when we have the guys from TNA on, they don't want to say it so much, but they're pretty much hurting too, until they get signed to a contract, You know, those guys. I mean, some of them do say it, some of them don't say it. So even when you're seeing a guy on cable TV, he's kind of hurting too in pro wrestling. The only guys that are doing okay are the WWE guys. So that really hurts, and that's something Jim Cornette talks about all the time, is that there are fewer guys making money in pro wrestling than there ever have been ever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not doing it like I was, you know.
Right, and you think, but I mean, I imagine if the economy takes an upturn, that you'd have to imagine, especially with the JCW thing, that's got a rabid following. At some point, they might be able to make that a full-time thing, or is that not even in the works, do you think?
Well, that's totally in the works. I do believe JCW starts their TV in January, and they have purchased a building, and they're going to do, a show once a month or once every 2 months. I can't remember what it is. And then, Bob and Jay was talking about JCW is going to branch out on these single shows. There's actually one supposed to happen in Tampa, Florida in January, I believe it is, where ICP does a single concert, but JCW goes along with it and wrestles before that concert. And there's been rumors of a New Orleans one and stuff like that. So JCW is going to start branching out after January, from what I understand.
Well, and then there's the saving grace, right? I mean, I think because JCW at least draws a crowd, so there you go. I mean, at least at some point you got to be like, damn, hopefully, January can't get here soon enough, right?
Exactly.
Couple of months, brother. Couple of months. That's a couple of months. Not that far away.
November is Mr. California going to be coming in there to get beat up by you, Pondo, or what? I would love to have I'd love to have one of my guys in there, at least in the mix. You know what I mean?
I have nothing to do with that, but 2 JCW tours in a row, we have, pulled local guys out of all the areas, so there's no telling what'll happen in the future,
But in a deathmatch, you could beat up Mr. California, couldn't you?
I don't know. If I want to get booked, I better say I just don't know, right?
Exactly. Pondo knows. Pondo's a promoter himself, man. He knows how it works. Let me ask Pondo a couple questions. Pondo, man, you pioneer a lot. You pioneer a lot of death matches. I know you and Ian Rodden, brother, pioneered the barefooted thumbtack match, man. I talked to Ian Rodden not too long ago, and he told me that you were the guy that discovered it in Japan, and you brought it out to the States. Is that correct?
Yeah, dumbest fucking thing I've done in a long time.
It was.
I went to the arena with 9.5 size feet, and I left with almost 10.5 size feet. I had to make sandals out of my tennis shoes. So yeah, that's. I usually don't tell a lot of people when I'm hurt, but that shit fucking sucks.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, man. I done 1 or 2 or 3 with Drake and Bailey, man, and they're not really the best of matches I've done in death matches, but they hurt a lot. You know what I mean? But you gotta go with the pain, brother. If you love bleeding, you love sacrificing your body, brother, you gotta do what you gotta do to fucking support these fucking fans, and they don't call you a bitch, or they don't fucking how these mark goes, Pondo. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. I've been hearing that for 21 years now.
You've been wrestling way
long. You guys are crazy. You guys are crazy. Those barefoot matches,
man.
No, I know, but the barefoot matches suck shit. They're boring. They're terrible. Why do it? It looks cool for 1 second of the match, but you got 10 or 15 other minutes of a match. That shit's boring, dude. I would tell everybody.
Let me go ahead and answer that.
Anymore.
Let me answer your question.
Nobody do.
Let me answer your question. You just said. You just said, why would anybody do that? But are we not talking about it on this radio show right now?
That makes me believe it is a hideous sexual fetish of some sort. If you won't talk about it in public, and
it's not sexual at all. But here's the thing: like, deathmatch workers are just as much entertainers as your Ric Flairs, as your Jeff Hardys, as your Lucha guys. The thing about it is, deathmatch workers, we entertain deathmatch fans. Ric Flair entertains wrestling fans. Lucha guys, they entertain Lucha fans. But we, the deathmatch worker, there's only a handful of us that can do it and do it right. There's a whole bunch of Lucha guys. Mexico's has a shitload of them. I'm not going to say that there's a whole bunch of Ric Flairs. There's only one Ric Flair, but there's a whole bunch of professional wrestlers. There's a whole bunch of technical guys, but not so many deathmatch worker guys that does it right. Just a handful of us. So, when somebody needs a good deathmatch worker, they call us. Go ahead.
No, I understand the deathmatch because I love deathmatches. That's not the thing. I'm talking about the barefoot deathmatch. Like when I see you get suplexed or suplex a dude into a bed of barbed wire, and everyone can go on YouTube and check that shit out, and it's awesome. That's awesome. But when I see the barefoot death matches, it makes everything in slow motion. It's kind of like watching roller hockey compared to the NHL. Everything's just kind of in slow motion. I don't like it. I mean, I would rather see you guys just go boom, 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 go have a really good match and do it. And the barefoot thing kind of, it's cool if because Necro Butcher or Toby Klein can do it where they don't even look like they're, it's like they just go and it's like, holy shit, you're walking through glass and thumbtacks and you're still fighting. It doesn't even look like you're wearing any, like it looks like you're wearing boots. You don't even give a shit. That's cool. But for most guys, they're like, oh shit, this hurts like a motherfucker, and it slows them down. The match is slow. You know what I mean? That's where I'm coming from.
That's the life of a deathmatch worker. We thrive on hearsay. I think that's fair to say, right? In California, if it's not for people out there about the stupid shit that we do, we die as deathmatch workers.
Exactly. I don't know what he's talking about. See, but Sensei, also when you brought that up to Pondo, I mean, we like to take our bodies to the limit, and we like to do different matches to these people. They're people that go because people, if you do a barefoot, I only done like two out here, and then I mean I'm one of the first guys. I know Pondo and Ian. I respect what they've done. They pioneered it. I mean I know it's been done in Japan, but they brought it out to the States. But the thing is, I'm one of the only guys to do it out here. No disrespecting Supreme. I have nothing against him. He's a good friend of mine, but he's never done it. I mean, some of his students never done it, and there's only a few of us out here in California. I know in the Midwest, in the Mid-South, and East Coast, there's more of you guys. You know what I mean? But out here, Pondo knows, a lot of the guys knows out here that come out here, they know that there's not a lot of deathmatch wrestling out here. It's rare, you know what I mean?
In the defense of Supreme, though, he has done some wild, crazy shit that the world knows who Supreme is.
Yeah, he does. I mean, I'm not disrespecting the man. I'm not disrespecting him. He's the pioneer in the West Coast of doing death matches. You know what I mean? I remember I was in the front row looking at him. You know what I mean?
Dude, from a deathmatch level, anybody that could ever say anything bad about Supreme has never watched any death matches.
I'm not say about Supreme.
Should actually be dead. I mean, he should actually be dead. Him and Angel. There's no reason why either of them should be alive or not in a wheelchair right now. So, I mean, there's no one that's going to talk shit on Supreme. I understand you guys are talking shit on Supreme, but he didn't do the barefoot thing. But see, I prefer not the barefoot. I prefer full speed. I want to see Madman Pondo breaking the fucking net. No, I want to see Madman Pondo full speed, breaking the fucking neck of Mr. California live and in person. That's what you know what I mean? I don't want to see it in half speed because your feet hurt. I want to see Madman Pondo. He's got his skull and crossbones boots on. He's fucking running across the ring, knee you in the fucking face, Mr. California, beat you, boom, boom, hit you with the fucking stop sign, crack, smash your head open like it's a fucking watermelon. You know what I mean? I want to see Mr. California get his ass fucking whipped bad, Madman Pondo.
Well, you know what? Before Madman Pondo fucking says anything, get a line, Sensei, because there's a bunch of people say that about me, brother. And, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know what I mean? I may be like a lot of people say, I may be not the greatest wrestler in the world. I may be not the greatest deathmatch wrestler in the world, but I'm a tough motherfucker, man. And I don't take shit from anybody, you know what I mean? No disrespecting Pondo, no disrespecting Supreme, you know what I mean? They're legends, you know what I mean? They came before me, you know what I mean? But I mean, you're coming at me wrong, brother. You're coming at me wrong.
This is Madman Pondo's fucking time. You might
I know it is. Don't let me get later, bro, after you, because you was pretty mad, bro. Look at you go over the phone and beat your ass, brother. You look pretty fucking mad. He told you, I'm going to hand up the phone, he told you. He told you, I heard that, brother. I'm going to download that and then play it again.
Madman Pondo, is there a way that these fucking spudheads can get a hold of you, the humanoids that are listening right now, can get a hold of you or no? Or, on the internet, I mean, not in real life. I don't want a P.O. box, but these guys might want to get a hold of you on the interwebs.
A couple ways. It's madmanpondo@hotmail.com, or on MySpace you can search Pondo !
What is that last one? Pondo what? !
Pondo !
Exclamation point?
And then yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, hey, Mr. California, I'll talk to you in a few minutes, man. Madman Pondo, I don't know if you want to tell the humanoids or troglodytes anything. Just wrap it up for these guys real quick, and then we'll get along with our lives.
Any shows, Pondo? Tell your shows. Any shows you have coming up?
Nothing like really spectacular that I know of, but I've been keeping pretty busy over the weekends and doing my best, and just keep checking out. If you ever see me coming to your town, come on out, because I do my 110% best to entertain, and maybe I'll impress you. You never know.